Severance Enclosure was introduced into Destiny 2 in Season 9, and initially it had a poor reception from the community. Bungie, they've recently buffed this exotic in Season of the Worthy, making it much more fun and viable. So the following is a guide for a Severance Enclosure Titan PVE build for explosive gameplay. This build is tuned for PVE, turning your Titan into a walking bomb, allowing you to clear a whole bunch of ads and deal big damage in activities like Seraph Tower events. This allows you to effectively keep the enemies away from the towers and therefore get maximum efficiency out of the Seraph Tower public events. There's a couple of ingredients for this build, although you can fine tune to match your playstyle. So for the exotic, you want Severance Enclosure. As for the class, you want Middle Tree Solar Titan. For the weapons, you want Monte Carlo, as you can access Markov Chain and the reduction in melee cooldown. And for mods as well, we've got 1-2 Punch, Enhanced Unflinching Auto Rifle Aim, Auto Rifle Scavenger, Auto Rifle Targeting, Enhanced Auto Rifle Loader, Empowered Finish, Snap Load Finish and Inferno Whip. So first of all, let's have a look at Severance Enclosure. So this build is centered around this Titan chest piece. Its main perk is Spheromatic Trigger, where Arc, Solar and Void melee final blows and finishes unleash damaging explosions. So Bungie buffed this exotic in update 2.8.0 by saying the explosion now triggers on powered melee both against combatants and guardians, and on finishers. The radius and the damage of the explosion created by this exotic increases based on the tier of the enemy defeated. So previously the perk only happened on finishers, but now with the activation on melee final blows too, this opens up this exotic to be paired with a few mods and weapons to make this pretty devastating. So next up we've got Middle Tree Solar Titan, and this is a good subclass and you have a few perks here that work really well with Severance Enclosure. You can trigger Severance Enclosure's explosion perk when you throw a hammer, and with Roaring Flames the damage stacks with your melee abilities too, and picking up the hammer after a throw regenerates your health. Next up we've got Monte Carlo, and this exotic auto rifle again has some nice perks that synergise with Middle Tree Solar Titan and Severance Enclosure, including the Monte Carlo method, where that decreases the melee cooldown and recharges the melee ability with kills with the weapon. Markov Chain allows you to increase damage from melee kills, and kills with the weapon and melee kills grant ammo for this weapon, so you can start to see how it all kind of ties together. Next up we've got Inferno Whip, and this was a late addition to this build, so solar melee abilities stagger on shielded combatants, so it's strong against unstoppable champions, so this might be good for your daily bunker buster. Next up we've got some finisher mods. As your finishers are now causing explosions, then there's some mods here that can be paired well, and they include Empowered Finish, so you can become charged with light by finishing a combatant that consumes 1/10 of your super energy, and that can be paired with something like Heavy Handed to get back half of your melee ability when you use the charge melee. And I've got Snap Load Finish here, and finishers generate primary ammo and reload all your weapons requiring 1/10 of super energy, so that's going to work really nice with Monte Carlo. So I also added some auto rifle mods, and these are optional really, but because you're using Monte Carlo, I thought auto rifle mods would be worthwhile. And auto rifles had a big buff in Season of the Worthy, so that should work out pretty well. So they include Enhanced Unflinching Auto Rifle Aim, Auto Rifle Scavenger, Auto Rifle Targeting and Enhanced Auto Rifle Loader. As for the other weapons, you can pick and choose energy and power weapons. I had an energy shotgun with 1-2 punch to add to the mix, and you might want close range weapons here as Monte Carlo does a good range job. A shotgun or a sidearm works pretty well, however, pick what works for you. So as for the gameplay, putting all this together looks something like this. So you can throw hammers, melee and finishers and cause explosions, get kills with Monte Carlo to reduce your melee cooldown, boost your damage with Markov Chain, throw more hammers and fists, throw finishers and get charged with light and reload your weapons, cause more explosions with Severance Enclosure and then repeat. And for bonus damage generate Warmind cells and use them too. So once you've got this build down, head into strikes, patrols or gambit and start those explosions. As I mentioned before, this is pretty good for the Seraph Tower events, and I found before that the repetition of Seraph Towers was a little dull. However, this build spices it up a little bit and helps you take care of all those enemies trying to get to your tower. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of this PVE Titan build. Do you have any additions to make this build better, and what's your recommendations for other Titan builds? That's it for this guide for a Severance Enclosure Titan PVE build for explosive gameplay. And thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below, subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to be notified the next time I upload, then hit that bell button too. To join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, and we've got a dedicated Guardian build section in there too, so come and join the Discord. Or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, then liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out these other videos on the channel. Thanks again, I'll see you soon.